Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction to read through for Marriage Toxin chapters 125 to 127. As I said I was going to do once we got caught up, I kind of waited for 3 chapters to come out and we're having a break week this week. I was kind of waiting to see if we would get the results of the character poll since it ended on May 14th and it's the 21st as I'm recording this, but we have not gotten the results yet. So I feel like 3 weeks on, we're taking a week off. I might as well do these 3 chapters, and what that means is that next chapter, if we get the results, I'm not going to wait or anything. I'm just going to do 1 chapter. It'll probably be a really short video if I'm just reacting to the poll results and the 1 chapter, but even if it's a shorter video, it is what it is. It kind of is a bummer waiting 3 weeks, like waiting and doing a video basically once a month. But I also think that it might just make for better videos doing 3 chapters at once instead of doing 1 chapter. It maybe takes 5 to 8 minutes and then having to wait a week or even 2 weeks to get another 5 to 8 minutes. I don't know if I like the wait for that either. I feel like it's imperfect either way when it comes to being excited for the series and loving the series and then just having to wait for more. But that's where you are when you're all caught up. I'm sure you understand. But on top of this, I really want to get back to, I've been trying to reread all of the old Jump stuff that I had done read-throughs for up to where I stopped doing the read-throughs so that I can keep doing a bunch of other Jump and Jump Plus stuff. So more of that'll be coming soon. So it won't be, just waiting a month for Marriage Toxin, or even if I do weekly from time to time, it won't be waiting a week just for this. You'll get a bunch of other manga read-throughs as well. And of course, because it's a manga read-through, I can't actually show it on screen. I just have the cover up here for you. But either way, with all that aside, I'm excited to read 125. We just ended off, I think, on Akakura and Gero being the ones to stop, unless she keeps going, stop Nabija. So I think we'll maybe start wrapping up this arc. We'll maybe get the big emotional stuff that comes with Nabija and Gaku and stuff. I think that was his name. And if so, that's another one of the bummers. You have to, waiting between each of these and not being, in that mode where I just read the past however many. Maybe the emotional stuff, since it's broken up so much, might not hit as hard. But either way, for me, in the character poll, I spread my votes out. That's the way I usually do. I gave some to, Nabija, because I think Nabija's been great. Some to, Byakuya and Kazumama. But I think the majority of mine went to... Gosh, I'm losing names here. Went to Arashiyama and Ushio. I think that's where the majority went. And the number 1 who got the most votes from me, of course, was Kinosaki. So I'm excited to see what the results are going to be. Hopefully, again, because we are on this 2-week break, next chapter will have the results. But either way, let's start reading 125. 125 starts with Kirito coming in on the sword as usual. It should have taken a clan head to stop Nabija, and yet... Nabija! Oh my, Kiricha dear. Okay, so she's awake again. Are you alright? Alright, I should be asking you that. They stopped Nabija on their own. That makes them even more worthy as my rivals. I'm so sorry, I've messed up the entire village, and it is actually sliced to bits. I must have troubled so many people. Nabija, there's no need to fret over that, and we have Kinosaki popping in. Kinosaki, where'd you pop out from? I checked the houses all around, and it seems there have been no residents living in the area for a while now. It's falling apart. The whole village has basically been abandoned. So, not a single person got hurt here? That's good news, at least. Meanwhile, so this is what it means to live by the gun. We see Leo being also included in the not a single person getting hurt. However, there was just one resident who insisted on staying and living here by himself. Isn't that right, Gaku-san? And we see the old man, him. Man, I love this design too. The character designs are so good in Marriage Toxin. His family tried to convince him to move, but he never agreed. He said he was waiting for you this whole time, Nabija. She pulls her sword and charges in. Nabecha? The difference in power's too great. I suppose it's just too hard to win against age. I wonder if, though, instead of her killing him, if she will just leave the clan for now that she's just the former head, and the two of them will just go off to live on their own out in the mountains or whatever. It's all right, says Kinosaki, and he catches the sword. You haven't changed one bit, Nabe-san. Neither of you, Gaku. Hikacha, Chinacha, Kiricha, Meicha. Thank you all for waking me up. Now I can finally face Gaku, for real. There's no need to hold back, Nabe-san. I already bought all the land here from everyone who moved away. We won't be bothering anyone at all. That makes me very glad. She swings again as he dodges, and they're both just smiling the whole time. Kinosaki, Akakura, we need to get away from here. But, so this is Nabecha's full power. Okay, but Gaku-san's also a monster in his own right. He kept his promise to Nabecha and lived his whole life for this very day. That's the form of a man who never stopped training the giant hands, day after day, year after year. I thought he'd have been long retired from the front lines, but it seems I've severely misjudged this man named Gaku. He's not the least bit out of his prime. Up until now, Nabecha never found a way to be honest about her feelings toward Gaku-san. The era they were born in may have had to do with it, and it's true that the choice she made is also right in its own way. But what about you, Akakura-san? What kind of relationship do you want to have with Gero-kun? And we see blood drawn from Nabecha's attack, and both of them are smiling. And then we cut to both of them being down on the ground. Kiricha, I leave the Iron Clan to you. And he starts crying. And, Hikacha, Chinacha, if you ever meet someone you love, I hope you can choose the path that leaves you with no regrets. Again, this is cool because we're doing this thing where their relationship's really good. I've mentioned before how I think Akakura is one of the best matches for Gero, but I like that we're leaving things open here where if she doesn't want a romantic relationship with him in the end, is as long as it's the path that leaves her without regrets, if she won't have regrets not pursuing him romantically, then that leaves, character development open for her. And also, like I mentioned, leaving the pathway open for like Arashiyama and Himakawa to end up together, much like opening the potential path for Akakura to end up with Kirito, is like leaving these outs so that even if they don't end up with Gero, they can still have happy endings, which I think is good, because a lot of these kinds of series where there's like, romance triangles or romance much more complicated shapes, a lot of them feel like a character's losing out, because there are a lot of times where there isn't really a backup and the main character will just choose the boring main female character. Meanwhile, there are much better female characters that get left by the wayside without much recourse. But I guess it's over. I really wanted to keep on fighting with you for even longer. Nabe-san, Gaku, I love you. I love you too. And they take each other's hands. And we have... I love Kirito absolutely bawling. And then Kinosaki and Akakura crying as well. And then, blessed by the light of the morning sun, these two lie by each other's side, together forevermore. And if this is like a full, final death for them, confessing their love, having their final battle, she got to kill him like she had been training for, and he got to accept the fight with her like he's been living his life for, then it's like all of their lives each had meaning individually, but they got to share their ending together, which is really, really good. I've really loved this arc. This arc's been really well done. But We still have 2 more chapters we get to read, so I'm assuming we're going to be sticking with this. And, you know, I guess, what am I looking to say? We're going to be sticking with this and maybe doing the sort of wrap-up stuff that we get toward the end of an arc, which is usually some of, like, the best character stuff. Some of the best stuff comes during these kinds of moments. And 126 does start with a funeral. A figure beloved by the entire clan embarks on her final journey. And she's buried with a picture of Gaku. Her husband's probably in the afterlife, like, damn. And then we have Kirito crying at her funeral. And it's nice that Geto, Akakura, and Kinosaki got to attend. Nabacha, if you ever meet someone you love, I hope you can choose the path that leads you or leaves you with no regrets. Geto-san, thank you so much for staying with Nabacha until the end. And again, this is a really good scene too. Finding a lifetime rival lies at the very marrow of being an iron user. Please be my rival from now on. It's just a few words, but somehow I can't bring myself to say them. Gah. We have the usual Hikaru reaction. Nothing. Never mind. Kirito, your clan's attitude toward life really left a deep impression on me. If you don't mind, would you like to spar with me again sometime? Well, if you insist. I won't be holding back next time, though. Good job, Geto-kun. On what? And he doesn't even realize how well he did. See you next time, Akakura. See ya. Chinatsu, and we see Yarina. It's been 3 days, and I think Mitsuba is the female sibling's name for... There's Kazumama, and Mitsuba, I think, because she's 3, Mitsu, and the other one's like Futaba or something? Because he's 2. And then... So, how'd it go with Geto-san? We're going to see each other next week. That's it? And we have a lot of chibi and exaggerated faces this chapter. You were together for multiple days and nights. Aren't you both adults? You gotta go for it more. What? That still wasn't enough? And now, we cut to the 2 of them running through the forest. Thanks, Geto. My reflexes and movements are really sharpening up. That's great. Geto, please let me go out with you. Gah! On one of your physical training sessions. You see, my protector license renewal's coming up, so I want to prepare. Sure, I got just the program for you. Could be a little challenging, though, and I love the grinning Kinosaki in the background. It's so cute. Oh yeah, about Chuto and the group who attacked Nabacha. Seems like they couldn't find out who made them those arms, and gave them all that info. But the Iron Clan did analyze those mechanical arms, and they're now using them to further improve their skills. Kirito and I exchanged contact info, so he filled me in. Then we can't let them leave us behind, right? And I like this too, because we haven't seen Geto making a ton of male friends. Like, he does have these relationships set up with like Leo and Naruko and now Sota as well, but they don't feel like I don't know, it feels like in some ways he's kind of just like stuck with Naruko and Leo when they're around sometimes. It doesn't feel like a real friendship because of how out there the characters are, whereas this feels like an actual sort of more equal male friendship for Geto. Of course, though, he already does have his friendship pre-established with a Bug User. License renewal, huh? When did you start being a protector, Akakura? As soon as I graduated high school. There wasn't really any big reason for it. I just happened to watch a movie that showed the job, and I thought I wanted to be somebody who did the protecting instead of getting protected. That's all there is to it. Wow, Geto really is something, huh? He's not even breaking a sweat. I thought I was holding my own, you know? But after seeing Nabacha and Gaku-san go at it, Kirito's technique, and how you carry yourself on the job, I've realized I've still got a long way to go. Nah, I think you're already doing great. You're the first one who's been able to keep up with me on this course. Not even my sister could. That's not to say that I'm great or anything like that, though. I'm just glad to have somebody around who can keep pace with me and run by my side. Kato-kun, Hakakura-san really helped you out this time, right? Yeah. Make sure you let her know how much you appreciate it next time you see her, okay? Hakakura, thanks a lot for everything. I think you might be the only one who's always willing to go along with my ridiculous requests. And again, I think this is one of the reasons, character-wise, as much as I love his relationship with all the other female leads, I feel like Akakura just fits him so well. Good, and she runs off. What's wrong? Did I say something to upset you, Akakura? I want to do more to keep up with all your crazy requests. So, will you keep training with me from here on out? Yeah, of course. You can count on me. I really love their relationship. Hey, Erina. Chinatsu, you're back. How was your date? It went well. If you ever meet someone you love, I hope you can choose the path that leaves you with no regrets. Nabicha, looks like there's no mistaking how I feel. And she thinks about Geto. I think I'm in love with Geto, and I'm thinking of telling him the next time we meet. Again, though, where does this leave some of the other characters? Gosh, what am I even saying? But, well, that's really how I feel. And we have Erina scribbling away still? Erina? And is she getting puppet user control? Like, there's been so many, like, small things going on in the background. Are we finally going to get things coming to the forefront? Who are you? You have my gratitude. I'm honored that you feel that way. About our Hikaru-sama. Oh, it's the teacher. The sensei is everywhere. Okay, so the sensei is here. The sensei was going after Himekawa last time, right? So is he going to be capturing them one by one, and Hikaru's just not going to know any of them went missing until he has to save them all? Because last time we were left on a cliffhanger with that, and I'm assuming this time it'll be the same. I'm assuming we'll just jump to the next arc and not see for a bit. So this means, what happened to Erina? Like, I hope she's okay. We still don't know what happened with Himekawa, and if this arc took like a week or two, if this is like a 2-week arc, she's been missing for 2 weeks, and we don't even know yet. You would figure the, gosh, I don't know what else to call them besides the Himekawa Simp Squad. You would think that they would notice if she went missing like that. But maybe she didn't go missing. Maybe he's just talking with each of them. And because of his face, we're meant to think that it's something really sinister, whereas maybe it's not as sinister as we think it's going to be. But either way, we'll continue on. That also means, did he have something to do with the doll that was going around doing stuff during the last arc? Or I guess the arc before last, technically, because we also had the taste user arc leading into the Iron arc. But either way, I'm excited to see what's next, because next I guess we kind of wrapped things up, and we had our end of arc date that we usually do. This was our date chapter, really. So I guess next time we're maybe going to either get like a one-off thing, or maybe we're going to transition to the next arc. Get some hints at who we might be focusing on next. So yeah, that's really exciting. Let's go keep reading. Now we have the most recent chapter 127, and I'll be all caught up again. We have somebody cooking. The warm side of somebody cooking. However this somebody is. This turned out delicious. It looks like his grandma. Is she still going to look super young? Like the eyelashes from the flashback. So the two of you just sweated it out together and went on home? We didn't set when we're meeting next, though. Kato-kun, you're taking this too lightly. This calls for an evaluation meeting, while gorging ourselves with steak, of course. Once this job's done, I'm treating you to a nice T-bone steak. Well, a promise is a promise. Which restaurant should we go to? And then he gets a call. Is that an absolute order? Sorry for the wait, Kinosaki. We're here? And he unblindfolds. I keep wanting to say her. Sorry if people are upset by whether I say her or him. I'm sorry if people get upset either way. I'm just going to say what I say. But Kinosaki gets unblindfolded. And we see a lot of carnivorous plants here. I see at least 3 that I can recognize. Is this your ancestral home? Yes. I don't have very fond memories of it, though. You did well on your most recent job, Hikaru-sama. We'll also need you to report on Nabe-sama's case, so please come to the main residence. And bring Kinosaki Mei with you. Kinosaki? I'm really sorry I had to bring you all the way here. So, I'm always wondering, is the sensei his father? And if not, who are Gero's actual parents? Because the grandma's really the one we've had mentioned since the beginning. What? But this is kind of fun. I get to see the house you grew up in. Besides, it's not like the two of us haven't weathered way worse storms than this, right? Gah. Is that the clan head over there? Nah, that's probably a fake. I myself rarely got to talk with my grandmother. She would always issue her orders through our sensei. I only got to meet her once after the selection of the next clan head concluded, but my memories of that time are very hazy. However, people in the specialist world regard her with awe and fear as the perfected poison user. She'll use anything at her disposal to achieve her objectives, and continues to be a very mysterious figure. So, is she just going around like pretending to be a cook, pretending to be the servant in the background? So good. Japanese cuisine's definitely not bad either. Hey, don't just go ahead and... Well, it doesn't look like the food's been poisoned, so I guess it's fine. Excuse me, can I ask for seconds? Of course. Yay, thank you. I put all of my skills into... So this is like good writing too, and good pacing things out. Having the characters not know at a glance what his grandmother looks like, but just like showing her to us just a few chapters ago, last arc really, in the flashback, so that we as readers would know. I put all of my skills into making this meal. I'm very glad to hear you praise my cooking, Mei-san. The rice is amazing. It's so perfectly chewy. Who are you? I'm the clan head, Kirara, and she does still look young. Both of them react. What, the clan head? She should be well over 100 years old by now. Oh my, you personally cooked for them. That isn't super surprising, because if you can use poison to make yourself super strong, like Hikaru very regularly does, then extending your youthful appearance at the very least, if not your actual lifespan, isn't that insane. Oh my, you personally cooked for them. You really are overflowing with love for Hikaru-sama. Then, I really wanted to see Hikaru's face as soon as I could. I see. Thank you for telling me about Nabicha's final moments. It's going to be lonely without her. I should report on my search for a wife. Grandma, All that aside, Hikaru, when are you finally bringing home a fiancé? You made such a bold declaration about finding someone yourself. I'll be finding my partner on my own, and we're going way back. But after a month and a half, you have nothing to show for it. Wait, it's only been a month and a half? Sorry, excuse me. But this is insanity. Knowing that the timeline of the series has been a month and a half so far? Wait, Kirara-san. Mei-san, it's not you, is it? Like, I would have figured a couple months at least. Like, maybe 6 to 8 months. But a month and a half for everything that's happened? I can't wait any longer. Please come in. I will have you marry this woman, then. I wonder if this is a test. I mean, I'm assuming this is going to be a test, because of the way it's all been set up. What? Wait, Kirara-san. Is this the reason you called me here? But our search has been going so well. Grandma, I appreciate your concern, but we have our own steps to go through regarding this matter. If you decide to just skip past all of that, that would be equivalent to rejecting each and every one of the miraculous meetings I've had on this journey. And we see the main 6. So it seems like from all the color spreads, from all the bonus things we've gotten, from everything, it seems like these 6 are just going to be the 6 options. Tonako is not going to be an option. what was her name? The gun user Miyuki. Miyuki's not going to be an option. Any of the other sort of attractive women that have been around aren't options. These 6 are our options, which is actually kind of cool that Ushio is included among them, because Ushio has had kind of a different character trajectory from the rest of them. So yeah, really cool. The miraculous meanings I've had on this journey, so if you really want me to get married now, then you'll have to do it by force. Also, it's interesting because we have seen, like, looking at these 6, we've gotten 2 Himekawa arcs. The first one was a bit light, but then we came back around and gave her some more. 2 Arashiyama arcs, and both of those, like, her role in the second Himekawa arc was really detailed, and her first arc is, I think, probably one of the longest arcs, if not the longest arc in the series. So Arashiyama's had a ton of time. Ushio showed up first as a villain, then as a part of the team, then had an arc all to herself. So all of them have had a ton of development. And I feel like Ureshino has had one kind of smaller arc, but I think she was great in that arc, but it is one kind of smaller arc. And she's only, like, very sparingly showed up kind of in the background since then. So Ureshino is really sort of not had the amount of time that those other 4 have. And the same especially goes for Himi, where Himi has only had one arc and that's it. And it was more recent than some of the others, you know, earlier appearances and all. If you really want me to get married now, then you'll have to do it by force. Well, this is surprising. My dear, small, adorable Hikaru now dares to defy me to my face. Well, alright then. If you've already steeled your resolve and made up your mind, then we'll do things just as you wish. And Kinosaki falls over. Kinosaki being poisoned after eating the food. Wow, big shocker. Kinosaki? When? How? Poison? No. If you exchange vows with this woman right here, or right now, then I'll let Mei-san live. And I wonder, I think this is a test. I was thinking when we saw the lower half of her face that it almost looked like Hikaru's sister. It may or may not be. It feels like the kind of thing she wouldn't go along with unless she was also kind of forced into it. But I do feel like this whole thing is just to test his resolve. Like, Kirara might be evil in some ways. I mean, we saw from the beginning of the series what she wanted Hikaru's sister to do. But I think that this specifically is just to test his resolve. And the woman that he's supposed to exchange vows with, I am really curious if we'll get more on who it is, if it is just his sister going along with it for one reason or the other. You're free to refuse, of course. This is your life we're talking about, after all. Geto-kun, you can't give in, even when I'm gone. Hikaru's will is weighed against the hope of the Geto clan. Okay, really good cliffhanger, but it sucks that I have to wait. At least next week if we get the... I'll only have to wait a week if we get the poll results next week, because then I can just do one chapter, but it sucks having to wait. I am very excited to see where things go. But, either way, that is it for this week's. Thank you so much for watching, for being here. Thank you for supporting and everything. I am excited to see where things go. And I guess that's all I have to say. So, like if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of these chapters, my thoughts and reaction to them. Subscribe for more marriage talks and much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, it's free and open for anyone. If you would like to help support the channel by dropping a super thanks or by sharing around, it's appreciated. And if you would like to help support the channel and get your name at the end of videos, I probably should have already brought this up, you can hit join down below to become a member, or go to patreon.com/HakuOfTheTubes, or a link will be in the description to become a patron. Thank you so much to people who are already patrons and channel members. Thank you to chosen regulars Evan Hawley and Bertie Wooster, Magical Girls, FRNono, JA, and the D-Ban, Cheerberton students, David Langstaff and Folded Ghoul, Slayer candidates, SG and Stan Cedar, and Pure Elements, Pate Ariel, and Elsa the Storyteller. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.